Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore. Welcome to our mindfulness practice. Today's topic is about awareness of the body. So, this is an important topic, and it's one that I've been studying lately. The practice that I've been doing lately are body scans with specific acknowledgement of not just the parts of the body, but what's inside, what composes the body. And it's just the idea is to cultivate a kind of equanimous awareness of the body, just to be aware that the body is here. There is skin on the body. There is flesh inside the body. There are bones inside the body. And there's, I think there's especially a kind of attachment that we can have to our bodies, as well as some aversions that we may have to our bodies. So, one of the attachments that shows up is that maybe I don't want my body to deteriorate. And I may be in denial that over time my body is deteriorating. So this practice is to help us to acknowledge our ever-changing states of our bodies and what's going on in our bodies. And is it possible to start to see those processes and everything inside with a bit more perspective and a bit less attachment? And this practice is important for more reasons than that as well. And I'm really looking forward to getting into it. This topic, I think, is a great one for us to talk about. So just first, basically, one of the reasons we may use the body and parts of the anatomy to cultivate mindful awareness is because the body is here all the time. We can always tune into our bodies. Our minds maybe want to time travel into the future or into the past. And what we can discover about our bodies is that our bodies don't do that. Our bodies are always here in the present moment, which makes them an excellent anchor, an excellent object for our meditation. One of the check. There are a lot of check boxes I check when I'm making topics, and one of the ones for this is grounded. Like, one thing that using the body in meditation can do is to really help ground you and bring you back into this moment and to give you information. I mean, that's the other thing, is that the body doesn't lie. The body doesn't try to trick you in any way, in the ways that your mind might. So you can see clearly what's going on in your body and use that information to see clearly. So you don't have to deny, or your mind may want to deny what's going on, but each time you check in the body, you can see really what's going on. And the more mindful awareness we cultivate in the body, the more information we can get to help us to make better decisions. Just to give you a little anecdote, yesterday I had an emotionally stressful event happen near the beginning of my day, and I found that my bodily awareness allowed me to alter my daily schedule to be able to make the space for that emotionally difficult event. So without that awareness, I may have tried to push through my day as usual, but instead starting to see how that was affecting me and how it was affecting everything that I was doing, the interactions that I was having, and finding ways to take care of myself to be able to recover from that difficult emotional event, and seeing that there is stuff that's held on to in the body, and there are things that I can do physically. I chose to. I don't usually do any physical exercise or anything in the afternoon. And yesterday, that was just something I'm like, you know what? It's time for me to go do something physical to try to release physically some of what has happened today. So, and that was only possible through the bodily awareness that I have cultivated, and I was able to notice that this is what I need right now. And so you too, as you cultivate bodily awareness, can start to know more clearly. Maybe, when something difficult happens, maybe this super big event, this super big task that I need to accomplish, maybe there's a better place for me to do this because I'm not going to be at my best right now trying to do it. And self-care might require me to do more, different things to be able to recover. So, hi, Eddie. Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's event. And today's event is about the body and using the body as an anchor for our mindfulness practice. So, the body is a reliable home base. The body gives us honest, immediate feedback, not opinions, not theories. It gives us the raw data that we can start to use to discover and to really see what is going on right now, and to start making decisions as to what's going to be the best thing to do to take care of myself, so that I'm doing the best work that I can do, and I am taking care of myself in the best way that I can. And when I'm taking care of myself in the best way that I can, I'm usually going to be more available and more available to others, and less likely to harm others. So the body scanning that we do and the awareness of the body in general that we do in our daily lives is not done to fix. It's not done to diagnose. It's not pushing through. It's not trying and striving for self-improvement. Okay, it's something that if we're desiring self-improvement, it's something that happens gently through this awareness. So it's not having to work hard at it, because this awareness makes what's going on so much more evident to us. So we're not practicing correction. We're not practicing correcting what's wrong, what we perceive as wrong. It is about recognition, recognizing what's here. It's learning to stay close to our raw experience and to notice when the mind is adding commentary to it. And so one of the things I think is really important to note as well is the body can be hard for a lot of us, because we tend to have strong opinions about our own bodies. And sometimes that comes from within, but most of the time it's not just this isolated internal thing, that there are societal expectations. There are experiences that we have had because of others about our bodies that change our opinions about our bodies. So we may evaluate. We may say, my body is too fill in the blank, right? There's all kinds of standards that we may feel we have to live up to in today's society. So much effort and money is spent on the beautification and the adornment of the body. And that is for a lot of different reasons. Because they all kind of come out of the one thing, which is physical attractiveness. Because physical attractiveness affects a lot of things in your life, right? I mean, and this is the other thing too, is like we all have skin. Skin is one of the first points of contact, and I don't mean physical contact, but when we encounter another human being, it's skin that the person sees. And what is the attractiveness of the shape of the face, the eye color, the skin color? Like, all of these things have an effect on opinions that we may have of others and opinions that others may have of us. And so because of that, it starts to potentially reinforce or change opinions we have about ourselves. We may not, as children, have realized what impact our skin color has on the opinions that other people have of us. And it may seem unfair. Similarly with attractiveness. We are born with whatever this face looks like. We are born with whatever genetic identity we have that can make us fatter or skinnier, more likely to build muscle. All of these things are things that we did not choose, that are part of us and affect why are the opinions of others around us affected is partially due to societal standards, and that in turn affects how we think of ourselves. And so we may end up judging ourselves harshly because of things that are out of our control. And that may in turn cause aversions to certain parts of our bodies, to certain aspects of our physical selves. What happens when we body scan our buttocks if we have this opinion that our buttocks isn't exactly the way that we want them to be, right? So noticing the aversion, and I think the aversion to the body is especially an interesting one to explore. And is it possible to let go of your own expectations about your body that maybe, who knows how they've been built through society, through the opinions of others, to the vocalization others have about you and your body? Is it possible to let go and be equanimous about the body? Is to say, I don't have to be a certain way. This is my body. And externally, I can be judged unfairly. And by the way, it's not just genetics too, right? It's like, what if I have a messed up hair, right? What does that, what happens externally if I end up not looking the best? What if I'm wearing clothing that doesn't make these things say things about us? And I feel that it's a shame that so many people suffer because of bodily appearance, and so many things that we can't control, and so many things that we can control and are expected to control. So, is it possible to let go of aversion because of our own expectations of our bodies? And so I think this is a really important piece, that as we do exploration of the body, is to notice these aversions. On the flip side, there are the attachments we have to our bodies. One, the desire not to age, and die, right? This clinging to the body that is our physical vehicle here in this world, in this reality. And also, maybe the other kind of clinging, right? It's like, this spot on my head that has no hair has been sunburned a few times because I didn't recognize that this part of my head doesn't have any hair back a while ago, because this keeps going out. It starts to go more and more as time goes on. I have dreams sometimes that all my teeth fall out, right? That's that's a fear, right? That's a kind of vanity of wanting to keep my hair and to keep my teeth and to be attached to parts of my body. And I think I'm probably not alone in having these dreams, and two, into recognizing that there are certain things that I am attached to that hopefully over time, through more and more mindfulness practice, that I can be aware of that attachment and try to be cooler about it. It's no coincidence that monks shave their heads. Monks and nuns shave their heads because it's this kind of attempt to equalize beauty, so that beauty doesn't become a factor in judgment of one another and judgment of self, so that we can try our best to stop worrying about physical adornment. Okay, so I'm just looking at the chat here. Hello, Geraldine. Thanks for interacting. Yes. And it is, again, skin color is just the way that it is, and it's just such a shame that whatever we're born into, whatever this external thing that feels the same, that hurts when it's pinched, no matter who we are affected by it. So thanks so much for your interaction in the chat. Rachel says, I feel there's a need to be young and beautiful in order to be accepted in society, and it's a survival instinct. So thanks for your interaction in chat. So what is good? What is bad? What is acceptable? What is unacceptable? We borrow other people's gaze and turn it inward and use it as a way to judge ourselves. So mindfulness invites a different relationship, invites the body as a lived experience, not a project to be worked on. So what is the equanimity? It is the steadiness in what is here. It is not indifference. It is not resignation. It means that pleasant things can be pleasant without clinging to them, and unpleasant things can be unpleasant without trying to immediately change them or to have hostility, anger, and hatred towards this. So notice the mind will have preferences. Can we be aware of those preferences? And can we let our own bodies be our bodies without having to have a verdict about them all the time? So as we use the body as an anchor for mindfulness, can we be aware of what the body is like when we're sitting, when we're standing, when we're walking? What do all of these things feel like when we're there? And so this is, one of the reasons why the body is such a good anchor for mindfulness, is because you can always tap into it and tap into the feelings that you're having inside the body. You can notice the contact points. You can feel gravity pulling down. You can feel the chair or cushion against your buttocks. You can feel your feet touching the floor. This is the easiest way for you to return to the present moment in your daily life. So can you avoid the story? Can you recognize when there's story that's coming up with it? And can you just come back to the raw data? So any additional questions or comments? Thanks, Kay, for your comment in the chat. So this is here. Knowing is enough. Let the feelings be felt in the body. Let's go ahead and get into our practice. So get comfortable. You can choose sitting or lying or standing or even walking, whatever posture is going to be helpful for you today. And so we'll just do some scanning of the body. And so by scanning, I just mean bring your attention as best you can to the parts of the body that I'm going to be naming out. It doesn't mean you have to strain. You don't have to work hard to try to feel something there. You don't have to make sure that every area is feeling something. Okay, just kind of a general awareness that these parts of the body exist. And from time to time, your mind will wander. And as that happens, See if you can let the sound of my voice bring you back to this present moment. So starting with the head, noticing that there is skin. There are hair follicles, there's hair. Notice the face. Notice that there is skin on the face. Notice the neck. Be aware of the skin on the neck. Notice the right shoulder, the right armpit. There may be hair. There is skin on the outside of the body. On the upper arm. The skin of the upper arm. The forearm. Noticing on the outside of the body there is skin. And the right hand. The skin of the right hand. The left shoulder and the left armpit. Noticing the skin. The left upper arm. Skin here also. The left forearm. Skin is here. The left hand. The skin. And now the chest, the front of the torso. The skin here. The abdomen, the belly, the lower torso. Feeling the skin. The upper back. Acknowledging the skin. The lower back. The skin. The pelvic region. The skin here. The right hip. There is skin here. The right thigh. Noticing the skin. The right lower leg. The skin of the right lower leg. the right foot, noticing the skin, the left hip, there is skin here. The left thigh, noticing the skin. The left lower leg, acknowledging there is skin here. And the left foot, there is skin. So now acknowledging the entirety of the body, the whole outside of the body is covered in skin. Nothing to be infatuated with, nothing to feel hatred towards. It's just my skin. And it's just skin. I don't even have to be attached to it as mine. This is skin. An envelope that all human beings and most animals have. It's just skin. And so now, let's begin acknowledging that there are other things inside of our bodies. Beyond the skin, underneath the skin, there's flesh, there are bones, there are organs, there are liquids inside of our bodies. So now, seeing if you can understand, you don't have to actually feel anything, but just this awareness that there is more underneath the skin. So the left foot, flesh and bones. The left lower leg, acknowledging the flesh and bones inside. The left thigh, the flesh and bones. The left hip, the flesh and bones. And the right foot inside, flesh and bones. The right lower leg, flesh and bones. The right thigh, flesh and bones. The right hip, the flesh and bones. And now the pelvis, inside the flesh, the bones, and the organs. Again, not having to feel them necessarily, but just acknowledging that there are flesh, bones, and organs here. The lower torso, front and back, inside, flesh, bones, and organs. In the chest, and in the back, the upper torso. The flesh, the bones, and the organs. The left hand. Here there are flesh and bones. The left forearm. Acknowledging the flesh and bones. The left upper arm. The flesh and bones. The left shoulder. The flesh and bones. And now scanning down to the right hand. Noticing with equanimity the flesh and bones. The right forearm, flesh and bones. The right upper arm, flesh and bones. And then we move into the neck, acknowledging here the flesh and bones. And then moving into the face, into the head, the flesh, the bones, and the organs. So now see if you can open your awareness to your entire body, inside and out. What it is that you're experiencing in your body and outside your body on the surface of your skin. What do you notice? Are you aware of the temperature? Where is that coming from? Is that on the surface of the skin? Is that deeper inside the body? Are you aware of sensations of hunger or satiation? Is that coming from a particular place in the body? Can you feel emotional manifestations? Can you feel tension Can you feel ease? Does that have a home in the body? So it's just flesh. It's just bones. It's just organs. It's just skin. It's not beautiful. It's not detestable. It is here right now. We can see it objectively. And so let's spend the last minute or so just observing our bodies as they are right now. Well done, everybody, on making it through today's practice. I'm going to close our practice with 3 rings of the bell. After you hear the final ring, feel free to open your eyes and move around and come back to this space of us being together, even though you haven't actually gone anywhere. Thanks, everybody, for being here with me today and here supporting each other in your practice. Thanks, Marta. How did your practice go? And any questions or comments about today's topic? How do you feel about your body? I'm going to go ahead and just kind of pop up my it's the follow me card. If you don't follow me on Insight Timer, it would be very helpful if you do. Thanks, Cece. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say about this topic. I think it's a fantastic topic. I'm happy to be able to speak about it. I'm happy to notice I'm happy I have my body as a way to understand more about myself. I mean, this is a discovery that I only made about, 8 years ago. I feel like I was going through my mind going through my life on autopilot most of the time, and there was this huge well of information here that I just had never tapped into. So I'm just so happy that I'm so grateful that I have this tool to know what's happening in any given moment. And Jean says, as we scan the skin of the body, I found it hard to resist the urge to explore inward. And that's okay. This is it's just a different way of exploring the body. And again, the guidance is just that. It's guidance, right? I'm kind of leading a certain way as we do meditation. It doesn't mean that you can't stray, that you can't go off and do your own thing. This is just kind of like I'm walking down the path, and maybe you find something interesting over in the trees and the leaves over there. Go have a look. But that said, one of the reasons I do the guidance is because it does help us to stay present. So the thing that it can be the thing that can challenge your meditation is if you start wandering off in the realm of thoughts and you get lost out in the woods. But if it comes to, hey, I'm examining my skin and now I'm kind of curious what's going on underneath, there's no harm in checking that out. And that is true. Skin is the largest organ in the body. It weighs more than any other organ. Speaking of, we were talking about like nerdy facts earlier. That's another good one. Thanks, Jean. Rachel says, I found it intriguing being aware of my skin, even the areas not in contact with the surface. And so, yeah, that is, it's nice to explicitly name. And you can see that you can be aware of it. And the other thing is that it's just skin. That something that you share with every other human being and many animals. This is skin. And then there's just so much. There's so much to be said about, how people are judged due to skin. So I hope you can use this practice to help to cultivate equanimity and to recognize your own internal judgments and biases you have to yourself, and maybe over time, as we do this practice more and more, to recognize what kind of judgments you may have about other people and their skin. Oh, and I found myself judging myself for wandering inward and then noticing I was thinking and brought myself back to your voice. Thanks, Jean, so much. I really appreciate that like honest explanation of what happened. And I love how Geraldine's kind of like, seconding what you're saying. And I just love, that's my encouragement for everybody to write in the chat, because you never know, or it's probably very likely that what you're experiencing is also being experienced by somebody else who's here. And it helps for them to hear that too. And thanks, Sybil. Sybil says, I tend to view the body from a health point of view. I enjoy the difference of people, including skin. Thanks. Thank you, Jean. Thanks for your donation. Thanks, everybody, for being here. We are on a little series about the building blocks of mindfulness. Next time we'll come back, we'll talk about breath as a foundation. Or no, I'm sorry. I think next time is movement. So as we've talked about the body in its stillness and looking inward at the body, we're going to talk about, hey, we can also be mindful of the body while it's moving, not just while it's still. So that will be Tuesday morning my time. That might be Monday evening for those of you in the Western Hemisphere or in Western Europe or Western Africa. So hope to see you again then. Have a lovely day or evening wherever you are. And let's close our practice the way we do, with some well wishes to ourselves and well wishes for everybody else who's here. So follow along with me if you like. May I be happy and peaceful. May everyone watching, listening, wherever you are, I wish you all happiness and peace. And may all human beings, all sentient life, all things with skin, may all of us be happy and peaceful.